What's up everybody, this is Nick at BarBend.com and today I'm talking to you about the best supplements for muscle growth. Whether you're trying to pack on some muscle for aesthetic reasons or you're looking to get some hypertrophy into your strength training, adding some muscle is a good, valiant, valuable, and noteworthy thing to do with your time, with your life. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And we've got a wide range of supplements here that can help to promote muscle growth, be it a protein powder that fits into your macro goals, a pre-workout to help you push harder in the gym, or a post-workout to help you recover more quickly. The supplement for you is here on this list. So definitely stick around. We're gonna be going through a whole range of categories and also going into what to look for when you are trying to gain some muscle. So stick around to find out which one is best for you and your individual goals. Before I go on, I do have to make it clear for a few reasons, I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical information. Before you are making any changes to your supplement, nutrition, exercise regimen, or about anything else, talk to your doctor so they can square it away with you, your personal history, medications, and so on. Now, before I give you a little guide on the kinds of muscle building supplements out there, so you have an idea of like what to look for and the areas in which you can look for supplements, I'm just gonna do what a lot of YouTubers don't do. I'm just gonna tell you what our number one pick is in this whole video, because that's probably why you're clicking this video. The number one supplement for muscle building, get ready, this one's gonna shock you. It's protein. Everyone who wants to build muscle will do well to have a protein powder. Is it 100% necessary? No. But is protein the most difficult to get, most expensive, most inconvenient, and perhaps most important macronutrient when you're trying to gain muscle? Yeah. This whey protein from Swolverine whey protein isolate, has such fantastic protein per calorie that it's about the same as getting a chicken breast, but it's faster, it's cheaper, and it is more delicious, let's be honest. I'm gonna get into all the reasons why we landed on this particular brand in a second, but first, what's a muscle building supplement? There are a few different kinds of supplements to look at for muscle building, each will help in their own way. First up, protein. I kind of just did the whole spiel about protein powder, but it doesn't have to be whey protein though. There are many kinds of protein out there. There are even many kinds of whey protein itself, like there's whey concentrate, an isolate, hydrolyzate. But we are also going to mention some plant-based proteins in this video. Then there's pre-workouts, right? Now, the most important thing about any supplement when it comes to building muscle is it going to help you do more reps or do more work, right? All the talk about, this increases blood flow and this increases power output, this increases focus, that's all nice. Whatever helps you to get more work done in the gym will lead to more muscle growth. Like that's the most important component of that puzzle when it comes to pre-workout supplementation. So we got pre-workout on this list as well. And then there's creatine, which is a common pre-workout ingredient, but you don't actually have to take it pre-workout. You can just take it any time of day. It's not a stimulant, and taking 5 grams a day for about 4 weeks saturates the muscles, and then you're getting the benefits of creatine. The other thing to think about with creatine is that it also has a real aesthetic benefit in that it draws more water into the muscles, making them bigger. We look bigger, right? About 20% of people don't respond to creatine, but like overall, people really like the aesthetic benefits of creatine. They'll say they're doing it for the power, they're doing it because it makes their muscles look bigger. But both are very good effects to have from creatine. The last one to mention is branched chain amino acids. These are not quite as popular as they used to be when people thought it was just gonna add slabs and slabs of muscle to your body for 0 calories. But what branched chain amino acids do is they are 3 building blocks of protein and the ones that are closely linked to muscle protein synthesis. So the main goal with branched chain amino acids these days, the main reason people take them is that if you're going a long time without eating any protein, or you're fasting, or you're working out on an empty stomach, or your protein intake is low for the day, taking branched chain amino acids may help to retain more muscle than you would otherwise, right? Because there's leucine in there and isoleucine and valine, and that appears to help stimulate muscle protein synthesis. There is more to the muscle gain puzzle, and you know what? Now that we've talked about the supplements for muscle gain, the most important takeaway for gaining muscle is your total calories and macronutrients, also your workouts, also your sleep. All of this is vastly, vastly, vastly important stuff. So these supplements here though, they'll help to potentially shore up any holes in that plan and make the whole thing run a little bit more smoothly. But make sure you look at your calories first. All right, so to reiterate what that top spot is, the best overall muscle building supplement is protein, and our favorite whey protein powder is Swolverine's whey protein isolate. There are a few reasons we landed on this particular protein. The main one is it's got really high protein per calorie, right? Because it's a whey protein isolate. Really, there are 2 kinds of whey. There's whey concentrate, which is the cheapest form of whey, and there's whey isolate, which has been processed from whey concentrate to strip out all of the carbohydrates, sugar, lactose, and fat. So basically, both are very high in protein per calorie. Whey isolate is preferable to a lot of folks because it's simply denser in protein. And also, if you have like lactose sensitivities, it's possible that it might be easier for you to digest because it's lower in lactose. So we really like Whey isolate here. There's a ludicrous 26 grams of protein for 1 gram of carbohydrates and half a gram of fat in this flavor. The flavor is honey cinnamon peanut butter, which is absolutely delicious. Interestingly, it's naturally flavored, although it does have an artificial sweetener in it, if that's a big deal for you. And also, the other reason why we really like this one as our best whey protein powder overall is that it contains digestive enzymes. So you're getting papain and protease here, and those enzymes could help to improve absorption of the protein itself. There are a couple of studies out there that you can look at that have found that when someone has enzymes like these with their whey protein powder, they've measured like more amino acids in the bloodstream more quickly. So in other words, you're kind of getting more bang for your buck, like you're absorbing and digesting more of the protein when you have enzymes with it, according to some research anyway. So enzymes can also sometimes make them digest a little more easily, like if regular whey is a bit tough to digest for whatever reason, sometimes adding in enzymes can help too. Speak to your doctor if you have concerns about, indigestion and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons to like whey protein powder that has enzymes in it. Plus, given how much protein per calorie this has, yeah, we consider this to be the best whey isolate on the market and the best supplement for muscle building. Next up, the best creatine for muscle growth. Right here, it is Huge Supplements creatine. Why do we go this creatine? Because it's just regular old creatine. There have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of studies on creatine monohydrate. All the other creatines, except for creatine hydrochloride, the other ones, 1 or 2 studies each. Get creatine monohydrate. This one here, it's just regular creatine monohydrate. It's unflavored, and creatine does not have a taste or anything, so it's really nice. You can even dry scoop it sometimes. I do when I absolutely have to, and I don't have a shaker cup. 5 grams of creatine monohydrate per scoop here. It comes with a scoop, which is also nice, because there were years there when basically no one was including a 5-gram scoop up with their creatine, which was an annoying way to dose. So there you go, it's plain creatine monohydrate, it's unflavored, and that is absolutely all you need from your creatine. So that's why we said that Huge Supplements has the best creatine. Now before I go on, I wanna make it clear, we have a written version of this video because I understand that I'm throwing a lot of information at you, and we're talking about so many different areas of supplementation as well. Like this, even for one of our supplement videos, there's a lot going on here. So there's a written version of this article if you wanna check that out. So just go to Google, write in BarBend best supplements for muscle growth. It'll come right up. And then if you want to go through this all at your own pace and like have a look at the nutrition labels yourself, it'll all be there for you. So there you go. Head over to Google if you want. For now, let's move on to the next pick. Next up, we've got the best pre-workout for muscle gain, and it is gonna be Wrecked from Huge Supplements. It is an extraordinarily potent pre-workout. Now, pre-workouts, that can probably make or break your supplement routine for gaining muscle, right? Like, I mean, protein will be the most important. Creatine does a lot too, but as I said earlier, it's whatever helps you to perform better in the gym is the most important kind of pre-workout. That's gonna be caffeine most of the time, and the first question you're probably asking is how much caffeine is in this? 350 milligrams. Now, a 12-ounce cold brew from like the average coffee shop is about 155 milligrams. So this is well over 2 12-ounce coffees, right? Like a lot more than that. What's interesting though is that you're getting 250 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous and then 100 milligrams of caffeine dimalate. Caffeine dimalate digests more slowly, like it gets into the bloodstream more slowly. So the idea here is that while this is an extraordinary amount of caffeine, it's not meant to have the same spike and then crash that can sometimes accompany that sort of amount of caffeine, right? Like it's meant to sort of come on a bit more slowly and dissipate a bit more slowly as well. There's also some other ingredients here that can help with focus and potentially reduce the jitters that sometimes accompany a big hit of caffeine, like L-Tyrosine. And then there's all the other ingredients that I've kind of mentioned at the beginning of this video that are popular in pre-workout. So we've got Betaine anhydrous that comes from beets. There's also Citrulline in here. This is a nice dosage of 8 grams. A lot of pre-workouts out there, they'll just include 1 gram and say, look, we have citrulline, but it won't reach the minimum effective dose suggested by the literature, which is like a good 5 grams. Plenty more ingredients here. I don't want to slow down this video too much getting to all the details with this one. Suffice to say, it's a very long ingredients list. There are ingredients for endurance, power, blood flow, focus, and there's even an adaptogen in here, which can help the body to adapt to stress. Like it's a very interesting area of supplementation. There's like some lion's mane mushroom in here for that. It's very unusual to find in a pre-workout, but everything is very strong, like very clinically dosed, very effectively dosed, unlike a lot of pre-workouts on the market. So the best pre-workout for muscle growth is this one right here, Wrecked from Huge Supplements. Next up, the best post-workout supplement for muscle gain. Our pick for that one is Kaged's Re-Kaged. So the post-workout window is an interesting one in the research. In like the 90s, everyone was positive that you had to sprint to your whey protein powder as fast as possible the second your workout ends to make sure you're feeding your muscles all the amino acids that they need. And there's like a window through which you're gonna get the most muscle gain, right? What actually matters the most is your overall calories and macronutrients at the end of the day, then the timing, that's important. And if any timing does matter, it's probably pre-workout. Re-Kaged here, it doesn't have the carbohydrates. What that really means though is that this can fit well into a low carb or a low fat diet plan. It's just really very high in protein. So protein, like whether you're on low fat or low carb, you do need a considerable amount of protein. And so to send some helpful amino acids over to your muscles, one serving of this post-workout formula has 140 calories, so 28 grams of protein, just 2 grams of carbohydrates and 1 gram of fat. What else this has besides protein are just some ingredients that you might commonly find in pre-workouts, but not the caffeine, right? So the main ingredient for this one is betaine anhydrous, which I mentioned earlier has some potential effects on power output. Interestingly, it's not really a pre-workout ingredient in that you can actually take it any time of day. And a lot of the research on it has people taking 2 doses throughout the day. So this can be like a good second dose of betaine anhydrous. The other stuff in here, there's a bit of glutamine, which used to be more common in muscle building supplements, but there is nonetheless some evidence to suggest that it may be helpful in building new tissue in the body, and also it has some implications for gut health as well. Why not? And then speaking of gut health, this also has a digestive enzyme blend of prohydrolase, which is like a blend of proteases. Creatine hydrochloride, betaine anhydrous for some extra power, a bit of glutamine for potentially some extra help building tissue. You also got the enzymes to help break down all the protein, and then protein. That's Re-Kaged, and that's our favorite post-workout supplement. Next up, we've got the best beta-alanine for muscle growth. Our favorite supplement for it is Swolverine's beta-alanine, because it's nothing but beta-alanines. This is unflavored. You can mix it into any kind of drink you want, and there's no extra ingredients whatsoever, right? It's 100% beta-alanine. It's a non-essential amino acid, by the way. A couple of things you should know about beta-alanine. The research on it is usually it's in the endurance realm. Like if it's doing strength training, it's on strength endurance. So that's typically defined as in the 10 to 20 rep range. That's where you're gonna get the most benefits from beta-alanine. There was a study, I believe it was in the journal Amino Acids, and there's been a couple of them now that have found the benefit to be, it was 2.85% in performance in high level endurance activities, right? And so if you're a high level athlete, like an almost 3% advantage is actually very, very, very significant. So it is one of the more research pre-workout ingredients, but another thing to know about beta-alanine is you don't have to take it pre-workout. Like betaine anhydrous, you can take it anytime. The effects it's more like they accumulate, you know what I mean? So if you've had it at any point like the last 24 hours, it should help. The normal dose is minimum 1.6 grams. A lot of the time the studies on it have put the doses at more like 3 grams. There's 5 grams per serving here. And it's also just 100% beta-alanine, so if you want to have more, you can. Talk to your doctor first. The last thing to mention about beta-alanine, helps with endurance, helps performance. In that way, you can do more work. In that way, it helps you to build more muscle. It's extremely common and extremely beloved by people in the supplement world, but it does produce typically a tingling sensation on the skin. It's called paresthesia. It is temporary, it's completely harmless. Some people like it. It feels like they're like really turning into the wolfman, like my pre-workout's kicking in. When you hear people say that, they're generally talking about that tingling sensation. Beta-alanine, our favorite beta-alanine product for muscle growth and just, you know, in general is Swolverine's beta-alanine. Next up, the best betaine supplement for muscle growth. This is Formula 12 from Huge Supplements, and 1 scoop has 3 grams of betaine. Very solid amount. This one here is actually typically used, or at least marketed as a post-workout formula or an intra-workout formula, like something to drink during a workout. The reason for that is it's got a lot of ingredients, again, that you get in pre-workouts that aren't necessarily time-bound, right? So you get the betaine, but you've also got beta-alanine as well, and a few others. There's also a good amount of antioxidants in this. So like there's grapeseed extract and alpha-lipoic acid. These are ingredients along with a couple others here that are a good source of antioxidants. So in that regard, they can potentially help to mitigate inflammation and muscle soreness, like help a little bit in that regard. And then lastly, the other thing I want to mention is there's a few grams of carbohydrates in this. Not very much, but they're the kinds of carbs that people tend to get excited about in the realm of muscle building. So what we've got here is a mod carb and clustered dextrin. And like, you know, this is not a very high carbohydrate product. I think it's like less than 15 grams of carbohydrates per scoop, 20 grams max. But these types of carbohydrates, they digest very quickly and they can like avoid like a bloated sort of feeling with your carbohydrate intake. So yeah, a lot of people, they get interested in clustered dextrin as a source of carbohydrates. Plus you get the Beta-Alanine and everything else. And this is still overall very, very low calorie. So it's functionally an ergogenic supplement with a little bit of carbohydrates to like spike insulin, help with nutrient absorption, like, you know, reduce bloating, that sort of thing. And there's also plenty of Beta-Alanine in there as well. So this is our favorite Beta-Alanine supplement for muscle growth, particularly because it's got a good dosage of Beta-Alanine and because there are several other ingredients in there that can, through myriad ways, potentially help with muscle growth too. Next up, we have the best branched-chain amino acid supplement for muscle growth. Our favorite is Onnit's Total Strength and Performance. We just ran out of it. We're waiting for a new one to come in. It looks like this though. We're big fans of this one. Onnit, if you know much about the supplement game, you've probably heard of Onnit. You probably have some things associated with Onnit. Mainly, they have like a really interestingly kind of holistic approach to supplementation and fitness. On the fitness side, they've got a lot of kettlebell stuff, mace stuff, unbalanced stuff, like they move a lot in the transverse plane, that sort of thing. And with the supplements, they like to lean a lot on natural ingredients and natural products, right? So what we like about the branched-chain amino acids supplement from Onnit called Total Strength and Performance Blend is that in addition to having a nice dose of the 3 branched-chain amino acids that I've already kind of talked about and told you what they do already like 4 times in this video, besides that, it's got some beta-alanine, which I've also talked about, but it's also got a whole range of plant extracts as well, and also some D-aspartic acid. And if you look into the research behind these plant extracts, it appears that the main goal of Onnit here is to help to maximize testosterone and minimize estrogen as much as a natural supplement can. So this isn't going to reach the heights of like, you know, getting testosterone replacement therapy. But if you look at the research behind these like plant-based extracts, there is some interesting research suggesting they can help to like neutralize or lower estrogen and increase testosterone temporarily, right? So it's not going to totally like make or break your total free testosterone count, but they're pretty cool ingredients. I encourage you to check out the full written version of this video as well, because we go into a bit more of the science there and you can see the ingredients we're talking about. So, Onnit's Total Strength Performance Blend, a good amount of branched-chain amino acids, a good amount of beta-alanine as well for performance, a wide array of plant extracts that could potentially help with hormones, and it's naturally flavored and sweetened as well, so you don't have to worry about any artificial sweeteners or anything like that. Next up, we've got the best vegan protein for muscle growth. We're going back to our friends at Swolverine because we just really like their supplements, man. And this one here is Swolverine's plant protein. And what we like about this, and I mentioned this in the introduction, it is pretty hard to get a vegan protein powder that isn't pretty high in carbs or fat because the protein typically comes from high carb legumes or high fat seeds. But they managed to process this in such a way that although the base of it is pea protein and pumpkin protein, the calories are pretty close to what you get in like a whey concentrate. So it is 22 grams of protein for 3 grams of carbohydrates and 2.5 grams of fat, which is really, really high in protein per calorie, especially for a vegan protein, especially if you were alive in the 90s and saw the kind of vegan proteins we were coming out back then. This is a pretty impressive feat. What's also cool about this is they've added in some extra nutrition. So you're getting like 32% of your daily iron, which is like, it's always good to get a bit of extra iron when you're on a plant-based diet or you're just not eating a lot of meat. There's also plenty of B vitamins and a bit of chromium as well. The last couple things I want to mention here, the protein per calorie is very good. This is all natural. There's no artificial flavors or sweeteners. There's no soy, which some people try to limit. And also the pea protein here, I encourage you to do a bit of research on the amino acid profile of pea, right? Like the pumpkin here helps us shore up any deficiencies in other amino acids, but pea protein is really famously very, very high in leucine, which is the amino acid that whey protein is kind of known for, and it's the one that's most closely associated with muscle protein synthesis. So we really like the form of protein they've chosen here, the fact that it's all natural as well, because a lot of plant-based folks I know also try to avoid artificial flavors and sweeteners and stuff. And also the protein per calorie is very impressive for a vegan protein as well. So, best vegan protein for muscle building, Swolverine. All right, let's talk about citrulline. I touched on this earlier, very common pre-workout ingredient, links to blood flow, power output, studies on cyclists, tennis players. You know all about citrulline. What's the best citrulline supplement for maintaining muscle growth? We think it's this one from Onnit. It's got a big nitric oxide on the front of it, and that is because nitric oxide is something you hear a lot about when it comes to like pre-workout supplements and general supplements for blood flow, because ingredients like citrulline and also like beetroot powder and quite a few other ones that have this blood flow vasodilation angle to them, what they do is they help to stimulate the body's production of nitric oxide. So it increases nitric oxide in the blood, and that is what signals to our blood vessels to dilate. This nitric oxide supplement, we really like it. It does have citrulline in it, but it also has some extra curious ingredients that are also linked to nitric oxide production, which for most folks is the goal of taking citrulline in the first place, and it's yours as well if you clicked on best citrulline supplement for muscle growth, right? So like they've got a blend here, they've got the citrulline, they've also got some arginine, which has similar effects to citrulline. They've also got fermented beetroot, which is famously, it's more effective than regular powdered beetroot as well. For one, it's stimulating nitric oxide production. Number two, beetroot is the most potent source of nitrates for increasing nitric oxide production. So if you Google like beetroot powder benefits, like if you go to studies that are on beetroot powder, they're all on like athletes taking beetroot powder to stimulate blood flow and increase nitric oxide production. Beets, very, very cool. So if you're looking for a citrulline supplement, your goal is almost certainly to increase blood flow and increase your pump. For that, you want to increase your nitric oxide production. Citrulline helps, but so does the beet here. Fermented beet is better at doing it. The arginine also helps. And there are also a few extra ingredients in here that are pretty strong antioxidant sources, meaning that they can potentially help with recovery as well and help with inflammation post-workout. So there's a lot going on here. You get the pump, you get the vascularity, you get that extra blood flow. You also get some stuff to help with post-workout recovery, and it is all natural with no artificial ingredients. So we're moving into slightly more advanced territory here with the supplementation. We want to talk about testosterone boosting supplements. So first of all, if you have concerns about your testosterone level, that's the kind of thing you need to talk to a doctor for and get your levels checked. That's like the most important step to take. There are some nutrients and extracts and so on out there in nature that have been found in some research to support healthy testosterone levels. So some people like to try out products like this, which is our favorite test booster. This is Testofuel's testosterone booster, right? So what this has here, a good example is vitamin D. It's got 500% the recommended intake. And like vitamin D, there's very solid research suggesting that if you're deficient in vitamin D, which a good amount of people are, then testosterone production can be hampered. So that can help to bring that back to normal baseline levels. You've also got zinc as well, which has like pretty good links with people who are deficient in zinc having impaired testosterone production. So these are nutrients that can help with testosterone production, right? There's also some other kind of like natural plant extracts that have some interesting research supporting it. So Testofuel here, for example, it has a boron and D-aspartic acid. Both are very, very, very common in testosterone boosting supplements across the industry. You've also got some oyster extract here, which might promote testosterone synthesis. And there's also maca root as well, which is a very, very common ingredient as well, especially for folks who are concerned about like their sperm count and libido. You'll often find maca root in those supplements. One more time, you gotta talk to your doctor if you really are concerned about your hormone levels, because this is like really bordering on, medical condition. But if you're looking for more natural, non-prescription methods for potentially promoting testosterone, it is definitely worth, in our opinion, of all the testosterone promoting supplements out there, check out Testofuel, take it, and see how you feel. It might do the trick. Next up, a really common supplement, increasingly so, is carnitine. Sounds kind of dumb with my accent. Carnitine. If you're looking for a carnitine supplement, we really like Caged L-Carnitine. So carnitine, you got the creatine, the beta-alanine, all these other enes as well, citrulline, beta-ene. Carnitine is, it's not so much a pre-workout product, even though a lot of those ingredients are not dependent on timing. Carnitine is like kind of more of an anytime supplement that people tend to take. Why do people take carnitine? It has an array of potential benefits associated with body composition, right? So it seems to be able to potentially help to transport like fatty acids into the mitochondria to help the mitochondria to use fat as fuel. Carnitine is pretty common, it's often seen in fat burning supplements, but in addition to the fat loss potential there, like as far as like helping with fat oxidation, it also is a recovery tool as well. So there is some interesting evidence suggesting that it can help with like preserving muscle, like preventing or slowing muscle breakdown, and also for helping with post-workout soreness. So in the world of athletics and strength athletics, in which we operate a lot here at BarBend, There are plenty of people who take carnitine. Most often you hear them saying that they take it for muscle soreness and for helping the muscle to repair itself basically after a workout. So carnitine, pretty cool supplement, pretty interesting stuff. I encourage you to check it out. And Caged L-Carnitine pills. This is our favorite version of carnitine on the market. The very last supplement for muscle growth we're going to talk about is the best carbohydrate supplement for muscle growth. Now, if you are new to the world of supplementation, fitness, diet, and so on, the idea of a carbohydrate supplement might sound kind of crazy to you. But if you have ever tracked your calories and macronutrients before with the goal of gaining muscle, then you have probably thought about the benefits of a carbohydrate supplement before. Long story short, if you are eating to gain muscle, you are almost certainly eating at least 1 gram of carbohydrate per gram of protein, and you are probably eating 2, 3, maybe even 4 grams of carbs per gram of protein. What that means is eating carbohydrates can get pretty old pretty quickly. It sounds exciting on day 1, and by day 4, you're getting pretty sick of trying to find new ways to cram carbohydrates into your diet. So a carbohydrate supplement is not a terrible idea, and a lot of people have asked the industry for one before. And what we have here is the carb powder from Transparent Labs. What we like about this, for one, Transparent Labs is a really legit company, right? Like they're very transparent, like that's what the name suggests. So they always tell you the exact amount of each of the ingredients in their supplements, so no proprietary blends. And if you're on their website, every ingredient they have like a study attached to it, like telling you why they included it and why they include that amount of it. So we like that. So cluster dextrin is pretty interesting. Transparent Labs cluster dextrin, we really like this product because number one, this one's all naturally flavored and sweetened. So there's no artificial flavors or sweeteners in this. The carbohydrate here, it's not like regular sugar. Like cluster dextrin, if you have like a drink full of cluster dextrin, it doesn't spike your blood sugar the way that just having like a sugary beverage does. It has like a slower onset in that regard. So that's the reason why a lot of people prefer it to like sugary beverages, right? So you're not just like drinking a whole bunch of cane sugar. It is naturally flavored and sweetened. You don't feel bloated and it digests very quickly. So if you are having to get hundreds and hundreds of grams of carbohydrates in a day, this is a really easy way to like sip it, get up as many carbohydrates as you want, and you won't feel like gross, heavy, or hyperactive afterwards. So yeah, cluster dextrin is pretty cool, and our favorite carb supplement, definitely carb powder from Transparent Labs. That does it for our all-time list of favorite supplements for muscle growth. There's a lot here and a lot of different types of supplements, and like we've walked through like 10 different industries within the supplement realm during this video. I can appreciate it's been a lot to take in and a lot to digest. The main I think things to consider when looking for supplements for muscle growth, I mean, number one, be reasonable with your expectations, right? Because the most important thing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, your calories, your macronutrients, your sleep, your workouts, these are more important than supplements. That said, for one, your calories and your macronutrients, that can indeed be improved by like say a protein supplement or a carbohydrate supplement, right? Or a meal replacement powder if that's something you're interested in. So supplements can indeed be very useful at filling out your macros and your calories. But the point is that the bigger picture of calories, macronutrients, that kind of stuff, sticking to that, like regardless of supplements, is going to do more for you. Supplements that help you to get more work in at the gym can have a significant impact on your muscle growth as well, right? Be realistic with your expectations and understand that like while carbohydrates and protein are great, the further down the line you get, the less research there is like promising you big results. And if they do cause results, the smaller the results are going to be, right? Like getting enough protein, big results, having some D-aspartic acid for a temporary boost in testosterone, the results are going to be smaller. So basically find out where these supplements fit into your overall plan. And lastly, talk to your doctor about your plans for muscle gain and like the route you're planning to take and the kind of supplements you're planning to take as well, so that you get individual advice that's tailored to you. All right, that does it for our video on the best supplements for muscle growth. Again, we have a written version of this video if you want to check that out, taking it at your own speed, get a really close, longing look at those nutrition labels. If you want to do that, just go to Google, write in BarBend, best supplements for muscle growth, and it'll come right up. That's it. Our video is totally over. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you for the next one.